Good morning. I'm Laura Wolf, the Senior Policy Director for the Texas Council on Family Violence, and I appreciate all of you being here today. We're here today to talk about funding for family violence services in Texas. We here at the Texas Council on Family Violence have received more than 10,000 of these purple postcards, which you can see here, from people all over the state who believe in the importance of funding family violence services and who want to urge their legislators to prioritize this funding as the budget for the next biennium is developed. We will be delivering these postcards to individual legislators' offices over the next few days. State funding for family violence services ensures that victims of family violence in Texas have access to emergency shelter, counseling, safety planning, legal advocacy, and other life-saving services. In fiscal year 2006, Texas family violence programs delivered these critical services to more than 81,000 women, children, and men who were escaping family violence. We are grateful for the support of the legislature in past sessions, and particularly for the support and leadership of the two legislators who are here to speak today, Senator Jane Nelson and Representative John Davis. We are also especially honored to have with us a survivor of family violence, Laura Presley, from whom you will hear in a few moments. But first, it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce a longtime supporter of family violence services, Senator Jane Nelson.
Thank you. And we were talking earlier. When I first joined the legislature, the subject of domestic violence was almost taboo. People just didn't talk about it. It was considered a personal issue. I think many legislators just simply didn't believe that it went on in their neighborhoods back home. And those who had been abused, those who had been exposed to family violence, were either too frightened or too embarrassed to come and tell their story. But thankfully, a small group persisted and gave violence victims a voice. Slowly but surely, we have been bringing this issue out of the shadows. We still have a long way to go, but I have to tell you, it makes my heart happy to see all these purple postcards, which will arrive, I think, in all our legislators' offices today, reminding them how very important it is to adequately fund our domestic violence shelters and victim support services. These cards tell us that there are people back home talking about this issue. They tell us that they care about this issue. And unfortunately, it reminds us that family violence exists in every community. It crosses cultural barriers, socioeconomic, racial, religious barriers, and it deserves our attention. I want to mention just two bills very briefly that I have filed this session to help in the support to reduce family violence. In addition to funding, Senate Bill 44 creates an accreditation process for battery intervention prevention programs to ensure that when a judge refers an offender to treatment, the program will be comprehensive and equipped to provide the treatment that's necessary to prevent future violence and future incarceration. And Senate Bill 45 ensures that strangulation is considered an aggravated assault punishable as a felony. Perpetrators that commit domestic violence by strangulation are among the most dangerous and deserve to be punished accordingly. In closing, I just want to say how really very grateful I am to all those who have worked so hard on behalf of families who have been affected by violence. You are making a difference. I am so grateful to those of you who are willing to come and tell your stories. It has made a difference. It will make a difference. It is my pleasure to introduce. It's always neat to see that men, too, are willing to come and pay attention to this issue. And I got to tell you, that's changed from when I first got down here. I am so grateful to one of the strongest voices in this legislature on behalf of domestic violence victims, and that's the chairman of the House Health and Human Service Subcommittee in the House, Chairman John Davis. Thank you.
And I'll just say ditto whatever Senator Nelson said. So, no, it's just an honor to be here with Senator Nelson on the Senate side. I chair the Health and Human Services Subcommittee on Appropriations, and that's one of the exceptional items that's come before our subcommittee. And I remember last year, Laura testified before our subcommittee, and her story is just so compelling. But as a husband and a father of three young men that I'm raised, that they're being raised to respect their mother. And I guarantee you they respect their mother. And she says, it's all, boys, it's in your tone. It's how you say things. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. But raising young men to be good fathers and good husbands, and that's critical for our social structure. But I just am honored to be part of this and to support what you all are doing in stepping out. And I assure you I will be supporting exceptional item number 13 to add more money for this program and to continue with that. So, and I've seen it in my community. I see the bridge in the Pasadena, Houston area, as well as the Bay Area Turning Point, where they just do wonderful works for women to get us, to get a second start, to get a transition, to get on with their life. And it's just not acceptable that men would do that, and bad deal. But anyway, I'm just glad that I can be part of that with all these fine people here, and I would love for us to hear Laura Presley's story if you'll come on up and talk to us. Thank you, Laura.